Who would have imagined that a Muslim boy born in a modest family in a small town in Mandya district of Karnataka would go on to achieve many milestones in his life? That he would become a builder of path-breaking institutions? That he would devote all his life to the service and upliftment of the people of his community and go on to occupy some of the most exalted offices in the country during his long political journey? That is Dr. K. Rahman Khan for you. A destiny's child who carved his own remarkable destiny. Born in 1939 to Janab Qasim Khan, a school teacher, and Khairunisa, a woman of kindness and compassion, young Rahman was a member of a lively family of 6 brothers and 4 sisters. He did his BCom at Banumaya College of Commerce, Mysore, as his father was very particular about giving a good education to all his children. Father used to send ₹60 per month for boarding and lodging at the hostel, college fees and other expenses, and he made sure that he saved something out of that amount every month. After his graduation, young and energetic Rahman Khan wanted to pursue Chartered Accountancy, CA, which was an extremely tough course for a boy brought up in rural surroundings. He moved to Bangalore and with the help of a friend met several CAs. But he was disappointed that there was no vacancy available anywhere. One day, he and his friend went to Gandhinagar in search of the office of S.R. Mandre, who was a renowned CA, qualified from London. It started raining heavily and they took shelter under the extended roof of a house. Looking at these boys getting half wet in the rain, the inmate of the house called them inside. It turned out that the house belonged to Mr. Mandre, and it was Mr. Mandre himself who was inviting them in.
ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ 3-4 ಜನ ಫೈನಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಾಗಿದ್ರು. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಂಡ್ರೆಯವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಲೈಫ್ನ ಆವಾಗ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಅಂದರು. ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆಯವು ಕೇಳಿ ಏನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೇನು ನನಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ ಫರ್ಮ್ಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತ ಆ ಗಂಟೆ ಅವರು ಮಗನಿಗೂ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಆ ಫರ್ಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಇದು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ನನ್ನ ಲೈಫ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಟರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್.
A man of multiple milestones. It was the first in a series of happy coincidences in the long and distinguished career of Dr. Rahman Khan, who, being a pious, religious and positive-minded person, took every opportunity that came his way as Allah's benediction with both hands and became a man of multiple milestones for the entire Muslim community. Dr. Rahman Khan was the first Muslim from Karnataka to pass CA in 1964 and devoted himself to the profession for 14 years. Later in life, he was to become the first Muslim recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for outstanding contribution to the profession, which he richly deserved. But like his father, who was a municipal councillor for a long time, he was destined to play an important role in public life. In 1978, he plunged into active politics and became a member of the Legislative Council, MLC, from the Congress Party. It wasn't an easy entry by any standard, as the then Chief Minister Devraj Aras, who already had strained relations with the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, pushed someone else's candidature. But thanks to the determined efforts of senior Congressman Jafar Sharif and Abdul Samad, Mrs. Gandhi stood by Dr. Khan's name because of his qualifications.
श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी जी कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष थे, वो तो उन्होंने मेरा नाम सेलेक्ट कर लिया.
Only 4 years later, Dr. Khan was elevated as the chairman of the council, the first Muslim in the state to become the presiding officer of either house of legislature, which has a history of over 150 years. He broke another record as he was the youngest chairman at 42 years. During his tenure as presiding officer, he earned the goodwill and respect of all political parties for his impartiality and genial handling of tough situations in the House. Dr. Rahman Khan was perhaps destined to play a bigger role in national politics, and the then Chief Minister Veerappa Moily ensured that he was sent to the Rajya Sabha in 1994. Despite some people trying to deny him a second term, Chief Minister S.M. Krishna and Ghulam Nabi Azad supported Dr. Khan for a second term as an MP, which lasted from 2000 to 2006. On May 22, 2004, while Dr. Khan was preparing for his afternoon prayers, he got a call from Congress President Sonia Gandhi that he was being inducted into the Council of Ministers that day and that he should be present at 5 p.m. at Rashtrapati Bhavan. It was followed by a letter from the Cabinet Secretary. Dr. Khan later recalled, "I could not believe that things were happening so fast. I suddenly remembered my father telling me from his deathbed in 1990 that he wished to see me as a minister. And while taking the oath, tears welled up in my eyes." He was appointed as Minister of State for Chemicals and Fertilizers. It was UPA's first government, headed by Dr. Manmohan Singh in 2004. In the days ahead, as Dr. Khan started to burn the midnight lamp to understand the working of the ministry and began to take briefings from senior officials, there was another surprise in store for him. He had completed only 2 months as a minister when the post of Deputy Chairperson of Rajya Sabha fell vacant due to the retirement of Dr. Najma Heptullah. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and the leader of the Congress party in Rajya Sabha, Pranab Mukherjee, told Dr. Khan that he had emerged as a consensus candidate of all political parties and that he should take up the post. There was no question of declining the offer, and as a true soldier of the Congress, he accepted it. In a rare honor, he was elected Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, with his name being proposed by the leader of the opposition, Mr. Jaswant Singh. A unique honor for a Kannadiga. After his election as Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Dr. Rahman Khan records in his book, My Memoirs, "I felt very happy and honored to serve my country. It took some time for me to sink in that coming from a little town in Karnataka and having studied in an Urdu medium school in a village with little exposure to English, I was able to reach this level of position. I felt really humbled." As Deputy Chairman, his calm demeanor and equanimity endeared him to everyone. And in 2006, he was elected for another term of 6 years. It was an honor for a Kannadiga to occupy such an exalted post and earn everyone's admiration and respect. Once he finished his work in the Rajya Sabha, the Congress party did not waste any time in utilizing his services in government. And in October 2012, he was inducted as Cabinet Minister for Minority Affairs, a ministry that was created during the UPA to address the socio-economic and educational backwardness of minorities.
I, K. Rahman Khan, do swear in the name of Allah that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as Minister for the Union, and that I will do right to all manner of people in accordance with the Constitution and the law.
He had a short tenure of 19 months as minister, as the UPA government lost the election to the Lok Sabha in May 2014. Being one of the very few leaders from the Muslim community, especially from the south, to serve in the union government, Dr. Rahman Khan was always focused on taking up welfare measures for the Muslim community whose condition and living standards were described by the Sachar Committee as worse than that of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Even before he entered politics, Dr. Khan strove his best to lift the Muslim community from the quagmire of poverty, backwardness, ignorance, superstition, religious bigotry, and isolation. He believed that instead of going before others with a begging bowl, Muslims should learn to stand on their own feet. He often gave the example of the success of other minorities like the Christians and the Sikhs, which was the result of the far-sightedness of their religious, intellectual, and political leadership. Not given to mincing words. On the other hand, he felt that most institutions managed by Muslims failed because of a lack of leadership and mutual distrust. In times of crisis, instead of standing together unitedly, they destroy each other with blame games, inflated egos, temper tantrums, uncouth behavior, jealous attitudes, and corruption, he wrote. A self-made leader, Dr. Khan did not believe in mincing words. In the foreword to Dr. Khan's autobiography, My Memoirs, Professor B. Sheikh Ali, former Vice-Chancellor of Mangalore and Goa universities, points out that Dr. Rahman Khan was gifted with the ability to build institutions such as Al-Amin Educational Institutions, Al-Amin Hospital, Al-Amin Medical College, the Amanat Cooperative Bank, the Salar newspaper, Al-Amin Islamic Finance and Investment Corporation, etc. When Veerappa Moily, as Chief Minister, appointed him as Chairman of the Minorities Commission in 1993, he lost no time in setting up a committee to examine the socio-economic and educational condition of the Muslims and other minorities. The committee conducted a survey of about 1 million families with the help of 20,000 teachers and other government employees. It was the first of its kind in India. Based on the committee's report on the extent of backwardness of minorities, the Moily government provided 4% reservation only for Muslims in the 2B category, which has helped thousands of Muslim youth to get government jobs and entry to educational institutions too. As a cabinet minister for minority affairs in the Manmohan Singh government, he took a major initiative to get the Waqf Amendment Bill passed with several important provisions to protect about 6 lakh Waqf properties around the country. His ministry also pored through the Sachar Committee's report on the status of minorities and identified 73 recommendations for implementation. The ministry introduced scholarship and skill development programs, and more than 1 million Muslim students received scholarships. Dr. Khan persuaded the Planning Commission to allocate Rs 17,000 crores for various schemes. For some reason, the Hajj pilgrimage was being managed by the External Affairs Ministry amidst all its other responsibilities. Dr. Khan persuaded the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to bring Hajj management under the control of the Minorities Ministry, and also took the initiative to start a separate Hajj corporation to create better facilities for pilgrims and to ensure better coordination among diverse agencies. A political thinker with clarity. That Dr. Khan is not just a leader who enjoyed various positions that came his way, but a political thinker with remarkable clarity and far-sightedness can be gauged from his book, Indian Muslims, The Way Forward. Analyzing why Muslims remain backward in all spheres of life and offering some solutions, he says, Muslims like to deny their own role in their backwardness. How long will they continue to lament their conditions but do nothing themselves to change them? They should come out of their victimhood syndrome. Education should be their top priority. Educational backwardness is the main reason for their social and economic backwardness. Analyzing why the people of other religions have become increasingly weary of Muslims, he says, Muslims across the globe have failed to convince the world that Islam is a religion of peace and that it preaches love, compassion, and respect for all other faiths and their adherents. Even now, it is not too late for Muslim religious leaders to establish communication with leaders of other faiths and develop cordial relations with them. Sage words from a wise man in his mid-80s and still capable of contributing a lot to society.